Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, from LSU, offensive coordinator Steve Ensinger, defensive coordinator Dave Aranda, senior center Ethan Posick, a guy who came back for his senior year, as well as defensive back Tre'Davious White. So thanks very much for being here, and I'd like to begin with an opening statement from Dave on how preparations are going.
We're awfully blessed to be here. Orlando's been very welcoming to us. We've been treated great. I think I know that our kids have had fun enjoying the city and Disney World. The practices have been good. You know, we're inching closer to Saturday, and we've been looking forward to this game for quite a bit. You know, Christmas kind of came and went quick with this in the back of your mind, and with as close as we are to game day, it's moving right to the very front.
Tre'Davious, what a role model coming back for your senior year to finish strong. Your thoughts on that? And that's certainly been a big topic of conversation in sports these days.
Well, first of all, I would like to thank the Citrus Bowl, the committee for inviting us. We've been having an unbelievable time. It was my first time in Disney World, so I really enjoyed it. So, I mean, like I said, I want to thank y'all again for inviting us down. But coming back from my senior year, I mean, I think it was the best decision of my life. I was able to, to become a complete player. As far as like mentally, learning the game slowed down so much more for me. Coach Aranda, he's just made football so much, easier for me, just put me in position to make great plays.
Thank you very much. Since Disney World was mentioned and your visit to the Magic Kingdom yesterday, I might as well hand it to you, Ethan. Have you found it to be a great opportunity to focus but also have a little bit of fun too?
Yeah, first off, just like to thank Orlando, like Shaq was saying, Buffalo Wild Wings and the Citrus Bowl. We've been having a lot of fun, and yeah, like you said, we've been really, working hard, but at the same time, when we're not working after practice, relaxing and just having a good time with the team, and really making memories and having fun.
So, since you brought them up, I got to ask your favorite flavor of Buffalo Wild Wings. You like that new flavor?
Honey barbecue boneless.
All right, I asked. Now we're going to move on to the offensive coordinator, Steve Ensinger. Your thoughts on preparations for this big game?
Like the rest of them, we appreciate being here, no doubt about it, and everything's been great. The bowl, the hotels, the people who's hosted has been outstanding, and it's just been fun to be here. The preparation's been really good. We had a great 2 days before we left and got here, and the guys understood what we was preparing for. They've been focused. There's a lot of distractions out there in this town, and but the guys really showed up at practice and been focused, and it's been outstanding.
A couple more distractions in Orlando than Baton Rouge, huh?
Just a few.
Just a couple, huh?
There's a few more than 1979, for sure.
Let's open it up for questions, please. Raise your hand, identify yourself and your affiliation. In the left here.
For both coaches, this is not really intended facetiously. I'm Tim Sullivan from the Louisville Courier-Journal, but given all the attention to the WikiLeaks scandal, such as it was, what precautions do you take to protect your information, your game plan? Just give people a little insight into how that works.
Steve?
I don't have a damn clue what you're talking about. I don't get on a computer. My assistant right over here, she does all my stuff, and so she protects it, but I don't do none of that.
Thank you, Steve. A man of few words. Next question.
Steve, we hadn't talked to you in a little while. Can you describe personally, the last 3 months, just on a personal level, what's happened to you, and just take us through it?
Well, it's just, when the transition happened and Coach O came and he said, I want you to be my offensive coordinator, I said no. And, he said, no, you're going to do it. And the change, it wasn't hard because we had great coaches, and our staff took it on. And I gave some responsibilities to our GAs and everything else. I kind of passed the responsibilities around. Coach Grimes handles our run game. Him and Coach Jalloop and Coach Craig handled our third down passing game. And I just kind of handed it out and said, hey, here's your responsibilities and everything else. And we kind of presented it all together on Mondays, what we're going to go through that day. And on Tuesdays, the same thing. And we kind of, it was a group effort. And I can't say enough about our coaches, but I can't say enough about our graduate assistants who literally would stay up there with me at night till 12:30 at night and make sure we had everything done. So it wasn't on me, I promise you this. Those guys did a great job. It was a lot more work, I can guarantee that. But the fun part about it was I saw our kids play. We opened it up a little bit. Everybody was excited, and it was fun walking off that field seeing our players smile, and that was the beauty of it.
Right television riser in the back.
This question's for Coach Aranda. I have a quote here from Coach Orgeron about facing Lamar Jackson. He says that you have a tremendous game plan. So without revealing too much, how does one go to slow down Lamar Jackson?
You have to try to take away what he does best. You know, I think so much of what he does is if you try to rush him where you're just going to contain him, keep him in the pocket, I think he's a fine enough passer to complete balls on you. If you try to rush him and be creative with your pressures and whatnot, you can get him out of the pocket and he can hurt you with his feet. And so that has shown up consistently throughout the games that they've played so far. I think the other thing they do very effective is they get you thinking it's run and they call passes and vice versa. You know, third down, that quarterback run, I think, is a major, major weapon and something, you know, we've been hit before with Alabama and various other games. And so the ability to get everyone thinking on the same page of this is what we're defending, right? And this is our job description and getting guys to buy into it. I think the month-long bowl prep allows for that. We're going to have to execute it.
Left side, third row.
Scooter Hobbs, Lake Charles, American Press. Coach Insminger, when Coach Orgeron took over, he made no bones that he considered it an audition. Did you at all feel that same way as offensive coordinator, or were you pretty much resigned to that they would have to make a change at the end?
Scooter, when he asked me to be the offensive coordinator, I had one goal in mind and see how many games we could win. I went to LSU, I played at LSU, and I just wanted our team to get back where it's supposed to be. And like I told Coach O, I said, you know what, I'm doing this for you. I think you deserve this job, and I mean that. And I've known him for a long time. I said, I'm going to do everything I can to make you the head coach right here and make the Tigers win again. And that's it. I was doing it for our school, our state, and Coach O, and that's it. I have no I could care less about being the offensive coordinator at LSU, okay? And I told him that. I said, you know, I'm doing this for you.
Well, with you remaining on staff, how do you feel about Matt Canada coming on?
I'm excited about it. You know, I'm excited about it. I've had a chance to sit down and talk to him a little bit. Not a whole lot, though. You know what? Just visit with him and everything else. What I love about the guy is, in my opinion, he's a lot like me. He's a lot like Coach O. He's a football guy. And all he wants to do is let's coach football. You know, he could care less about being in front of this mic just like I do, but you know, he wants to coach football. You know, and that's the way it is.
Left TV riser and then the front row.
Brandon Sayo with WBRZ here in the back, guys. This is for both coaches. What are you most proud of this season in both of your respective positions?
The way that we were able to build our team out of adversity. And so whether it was that first game or whether it was the Auburn game, and taking a team that was down, taking a team that wasn't believing, and to be able to get them to believe, you know, I think Coach Orgeron deserves a lot of credit in that respect. I think our senior leaders, we have two of them up here on stage, deserve a lot of credit for that. But being able to see just the energy with our team and being able to see their belief was the thing that I will take away from the season.
Steve?
I'm like Dave. You know, we went through a tough 4 games early in the season, then went through the transition and everything else, and just taking over. And Coach O did a super job of preparing this team. But be honest, you know, offensively, we always felt Posick here, our whole offense, we were better than what we were showing. And for those kids to get out there and work like they did, and to show what we could do offensively, and they did. And I'm proud of the fact that our kids are happy. You know, we spread the ball around. Our fullbacks are catching passes. Our tailbacks are running really good. Our receivers are just spreading the ball around, yeah, doing what our quarterback can do and everything else. And when they all walk off the field, you can tell they're excited about it. And it makes me happy to see that.
Coach Aranda, back to Lamar Jackson. You guys were talking about him before. When I asked Jamal last week, and this is for you too, Trey, he told me that we asked if Lamar had ever faced a defense like LSU. Jamal told me word for word, absolutely not. Do you believe that, and what makes you guys think that you can take down the Heisman Trophy winner?
Well, I mean, we've shown the ability to play assignment defense, and I think, you know, we're still striving to do that for 4 quarters. We have not accomplished that, but I think it's going to take that for this game. You know, whenever the quarterback's a runner, then they're using all 11 guys. And if we've got 10 in the box or 10 near the line of scrimmage, then there's assignments that have to be divvied out, whether it's a middle field player getting involved, whether it's the guys that are in the box two-gapping. And so there's going to be a little bit of each of those things in this game. And so the ability to fulfill those things, you know, to start the game, to end the game, that's the challenge. Now, we've shown we can do that. We got to do it on Saturday.
Front row, please identify yourself.
JC with the Orlando Sentinel. I have 2 questions for the student athletes, if I could. First off, we just had the kids from the Boys and Girls Club in here a little bit ago. Have either of you ever grown up through the Boys and Girls Club or any other youth organizations? If so, what did those organizations mean to you as a person?
Yeah, last year's bowl game, we got an opportunity to help out, with a group like that, and it's good to give back. It's always good to help out, with the community and, just give back. I know we have another opportunity to do that after this, so I'm looking forward to it.
Well, coming from Shreveport, we had this little thing called the Sparley. It was like a recreation center. So I mean, that was a place, all kids my age where we went after school to stay out of trouble. So I feel like that place pretty much saved me from the situation that a lot of guys back home are in. So I feel like that was the place that you pretty much molded me into the man that I am today. It kept me out of the streets. It just got me into sports and involved in things like that. So that was the place that I ran to every day after school.
Good deal. And then the second question would be, obviously you both have probably had so much time to think about this being your final collegiate game. What's gone through your mind leading up to this game, and how do you want the senior class to be remembered?
To win a game, I want to go off the field a winner for my last game in purple and gold. So I mean that's the goal. I want to lay a foundation for for the next team that's coming up next year. I want to leave want those guys to go into the spring with a good feeling and believing in this game plan and believing in the coaches that we have. I feel like we have one of the best staffs in the country. So I feel like if we leave off the field as winners, they'll have those guys pretty much pumped up for the spring and ready to go for next year.
4th row right, then all the way in the back.
Just one more answer from
Please.
Yeah, I just agree with Shaq. Just go play ball, go play our game, have fun, and fight for victory.
Yeah, Dave, Ron Higgins, NOLA.com, Thomas McCune. Can you talk about 2 things? One, your new contract, you signed up for got an extension, and was that a difficult decision as far as were there other offers? And also, just the last game against A&M, the last quarter, I know that you weren't pleased with that.
Yeah, I think any time as a coach, and especially as a coach's family, that you can stay put, and the kids can go to school, the same school, for a second year, and you can do some additions to the house, make it your own house, and get to know your players in a deeper way, and build the defense or offense that you got. Anytime you have the ability to do that, you'd like to do that. And so I was very much looking forward to staying on. And so we all love the Baton Rouge area and the school systems, and we love the Tigers. And then I think, I look back at that fourth quarter, and I look at it as from the very beginning, though. I mean, I didn't make a great enough push, and I did not make a great enough bigger deal of finishing games. You look at the Mississippi State game. I think they scored, 14 points, some 21 points, whatever it is, in about 6 minutes. And I think there was some turnovers that had something to do with that, but we were playing great defense up to that point. And then I think there's a couple other games where we're up on them, and I think there's just a ability that we still have to do, and then it starts with me, is that when we have a lead and we are winning the game, to finish the game. And so, that's a good problem to have. And so hopefully we have that problem coming up.
Hey, Steve, back in your back left here in the corner. Chris Price, WBRZ from Baton Rouge. Can you just share your thoughts on Louisville's defense? Are they underrated? Who do they remind you of? What do you think of them?
They're very underrated. When I put the film on, I saw a lot more than I wanted to see. I promise you. Their front seven is outstanding. They are big inside. Their nose guards, I think, is a special player. Both their outside linebackers are 250 pounds. They're good against the run. So looking at them, underrated, yes, I can guarantee that. You look at the stats and what they've given up in the run game, and you look at our strength, it's going to be strength on strength. Heck, we didn't change the game plan, but I'm kind of curious to see how good our guys play up front. But they're a very good defense, especially the front seven.
Last row right.
Yep, sorry.
Last row right.
WVLA TV for both Trey and Ethan. Trey, you talked about coming back was the best decision you ever made. You got a couple guys that have that same decision you went through a year ago at this time. For both of you, if one of those guys came to you, what would you tell them about coming back for your senior year?
If you're not confident, don't go. For me, I had different goals in mind. As far as coming back, I had the opportunity to be one of the first in my family to graduate. I wanted to be an All-American. I wanted to be All-SEC. I wanted to win at Thorpe in the national championship. I was able to do three of the four. So, I mean, like I told him, I always tell him, if you're not confident, don't go. Don't let anyone persuade you, not mom, not dad, friend, girlfriend, nobody. Not money. Money is, the NFL is going to be there, but, it's all about becoming a complete player. So when you get there to the NFL, you want to be a day one starter. So that was the big deal for me. I wanted to be a day one starter, and I feel like for me coming back, I was able to, become a complete football player.
Yeah, I just agree with that. You only get one shot, so go when you're ready. But do what's best for you.
Third row left.
Steve Jones from the Louisville Courier-Journal. Steve, what did you see maybe in the Kentucky game, especially with the ability of Kentucky to throw the ball as well as they did, that maybe was something that you feel like you all can take advantage of?
Well, Kentucky made big plays on them. They really did. But they're a totally different offense than we are. So basically, what we got out of the Kentucky game is when we go to three wides and stuff like that, the things that we feel like can be effective on them. And but I did see, they rushed the passer. They got after. It was a great ball game. They rushed the passer and they got after them pretty good. Just Kentucky made big plays on a screen play, on a deep ball, and everything else. And I think through all of that, we just like it, we got to take our shots too. They're going to be up there to stop the run, and we're going to run the football. But we got to be successful. We've got to make some big plays against this defense. And I don't think you're going to take this football and run it down the throat, 80 yards or whatever. You're going to have to mix it up, and you're going to have to make some big plays.
Fourth row seated on the right.
Scott Rabelais with the Baton Rouge Advocate. Dave, I'm sure when you got to LSU, you looked at the film and saw what a good player you had in Trey. But, when did you learn about his character, what kind of person he was, and what did you like about that?
Very early on, you could see he was the leader of the defense. I think we've got a fair amount of boisterous guys that are real loud, and you could be on our bus from practice to the hotel, and that thing's rocking. Guys are joking, and all of it. But I think the guy that everyone listens to on defense is Tre'Davious. I think right from I got there, you can see it. And so when he decides to speak, and he has the full attention of the team and the defense for sure. And so he's a good person. He's a great player. I think everyone respects him. And so we want to give him a win this last game.
Jacques Doucet, WAP-TV in Baton Rouge. Coach Ensminger, what was your reaction when they told you had to get up there today?
I've told Michael since they gave me this darn job, I'm not doing media interviews, and he keeps pushing me and making me do it. So it's my last one.
Just a quick follow-up. A couple of the players have joked you took over, the tight ends finally started getting the football. Can you talk about utilizing them this year and the plays you were able to make in the passing game with them?
I just think, what the first week we got there, I actually didn't even meet with the offense for 3 days. They just went to position, everything else. We went out there and we ran plays, and I kind of told them, I think it was on Wednesday, I said, we're doing this, I said, because we can run the football. And I said, well, we have to become a great play-action pass team. And we've done that, and we've kept ourselves in manageable third downs, and if we can do that in this game and every game, keep ourselves in manageable third downs, third medium, third and short, and stay out of the third and longs, we're a very good offense.
Second row on the right, and then two side by side over here on the left.
This is for the two players. I just want to find out from you guys, what was this season like for you guys, kind of going through the change and then the ups and downs? I mean, what has it been like for you guys?
Life lesson. Life's gonna throw things like this at you. It's all how you respond. And with the transition and when Coach Miles going out, I feel like as players we responded great. We responded great, because anytime you come to a school, you want the coach there sat on your couch and told your parents that he was gonna be there. You want him to be there the entire time. So when it didn't happen, I feel like we did a great job of coming together as a team and playing team ball. So it just gets you ready for life, and as for us to going to the next level, it's a business now. So that's just getting us prepared for that.
Yeah, I'd have to just agree with that. I think we really responded well. I think after every game, that we happened to lose, next game we responded well and, just never, put the foot off the brake, always on the gas.
A follow-up quick question. In terms of this being a business, obviously Fournette not being here, how does that change things for the offense?
Coach O says it all the time, and it doesn't matter what position, and Leonard Fournette's a great player, okay? But it's next man up. And, it's whether it was the Texas A&M game, he couldn't play it. Next man up. And you know what? Darius Geis and Darryl and all them guys, they just stepped up and played. And you know what? And you ask your teammates around them, hey, how about a little bit extra? And our offense has responded. Our offensive line, our receivers has played so well. Like I said, we would love to have Leonard here and everything else, but our team is very confident in who we have in the backfield.
Over here.
Coach Aranda, you have a reputation of taking a real cerebral approach to defense, and Coach Petrino, obviously one of the more renowned play callers. Do you see it as like a personal chess match for you, and how does that affect you?
I don't. I can see with Coach Petrino, though, when I can see him get people. I think the quarters beaters, so many people play quarters coverage versus Lamar Jackson, get as many people in the box as you can. And I think he has, and Tre'Davious has seen them all, throughout our prep. He has the best quarters beaters you could possibly draw up, and he calls them all at the right time, And then I think his ability to have a look-over game. And so if he sees something from a defense that he doesn't like, that is not advantageous to them, the offense looks over, change the play, and then you got you right back in a beater. And so all of those things forces the defense to have to be flexible and not be a stagnant defense of one or two things. And so that's a challenge for us for sure.
In the back.
Sorry. For both coaches, what has it been like with Coach Ogeron, him getting the job? Do you feel like, what makes him suited, and how well of a job has he done this year?
Well, I think Coach O has a great feel for the heartbeat of the team. I think he's shown that when he was at USC and was an interim coach. He showed that here at our spot when he was an interim coach. I believe the players love playing for him. I know the coaches love coaching for him. And so our ability to be fresh throughout the year, both players and coaches, our ability to have fun at the workplace, both players and coaches, and our ability to be, to come in tight together and be a family. I think all of that is from Coach O.
Alex Hickey from SEC Country. My original question got asked, so I'm going with a lighthearted follow-up to Trey and Ethan. Trey, what was your favorite part of that Disney experience yesterday? And Ethan, I saw a picture of you and KJ in those teacups. Was there any concern about getting you both fit in there?
It was definitely a tight squeeze in the teacups, but it was fun just to go and hang out and relax and hang out with the team.
Just like he said, it was fun to, just the bond with my teammates for this last trip. So I was just trying to have fun, through it all.
While we have you guys on the microphones, can you talk about those graduate patches that are on your shirt? That must be something you're really proud about.
Most definitely. Like I said earlier, like I'm one of the first in my family to graduate from flagship school, so it was a big deal for me and my whole family. So I'm gonna wear it proudly.
Ethan, your thoughts?
Yeah, a lot of hard work goes into it. Most people don't see it, but being a student athlete's not easy, so it's definitely a big accomplishment.
For those who didn't read the media guide, what did you major in?
Sports administration, leadership.
Sports, same thing, sports administration.
Okay, you're coming after our jobs, folks. Right here in the front.
Steve, I got to ask, you mentioned 1979 when you sat down here, so obviously I got to bring this up to you. Have you been telling stories to the players about that bowl game way back when? And what do you remember from those days, from the Tangerine Bowl?
I never tell stories about myself. I don't share anything with these guys about myself, but I do remember 1979. I was a senior that year. Coach McClendon was our coach. We came here and we beat Wake Forest, and we had a great time. It's the only time I've ever had a chance to go to Disney World, and we put the Mickey Mouse ears on, and we just had a hell of a time, But these guys, hell, they weren't even born then. But it's they come in here. Ethan walked in and said, "You play with leather helmets?" I said, "Oh, I'm not that quiet. I'm not quite that old. That's a fact."
All right.
Coach Dave, I wonder if you could comment on how much you've watched the Houston film against Louisville and how much their success in pass rush do you attribute just to crowd noise and false starts and that sort of thing, and did you see anything you can use?
When I look at the Houston film, I'm good friends with their coordinator, and he and I talk a bunch off-season wise, and pressures and schemes and all that. And so we're out recruiting. Houston, and was able to stop by prior to this game, and I think it was there. People were talking about Louisville or Florida State as the possible games for us, and Houston played both of those teams recently, and so was able to meet and talk and all that. And Houston runs a very similar scheme to what we do, but I think the issue that's up in that game is that Houston was able to get up on them offensively and put them behind the chains. And I think that's the only game where the run component didn't show up. You know, so the Houston's teeing off on them, exotic pressures and all this other thing, and the quarterback run really didn't show. I think it was just more drop back pass and all that, and I think it kind of fed the fire, so to speak. You know, you look at when Louisville played Florida State and some of these other teams, I think they had that same look in the eye of here comes all this pressure, but the quarterback run bit them and made them pay for it. And so that's the price you pay for pressuring, is the quarterbacks running around the edge there. So I think that's the big lesson.
Let's hear from a TV broadcaster in the back, and then we'll move back up front.
This question is for the two players. From the time that you started your career there at LSU to where you are now, could you tell me a little bit about a defining moment or something that happened that made you a better person or a better player during your experience?
I think just all the stuff we do off the field, all the volunteer work, all the things we do to give back to the community, to help out, really, makes you mature and realize that some kids do look up to us, and just to be a positive role model.
Just following off what he said, basically the same thing. You know, we our school and our athletic department does a great job of make sure we get out in the community and do community service and get out and go see kids and things like that. So when the flood happened in Baton Rouge a couple months ago, we went to a shelter where they was holding a lot of people that lost their homes and things, and the only thing they wanted to talk about was LSU Tigers and LSU football. So that definitely was a positive, and it just shows that people really care about LSU and care about what we do. So it's up on us to try to win football games and be the best role models possible.
I wonder if we stay on that theme and ask each of the coaches for their thoughts on how these two young men have developed at school.
Well, I mean, it's just the 1 year that I've been here, when Coach Orgeron is always looking for captains. I mean, these two made the cut, I think, every week, and so you knew that Tre'Davious was going to be there and Ethan was going to be there, and you can just see it the way they handle themselves on the field and off the field. I mean, they are what you would think a captain should be, and so I'm awfully glad they're on our side of it.
Steve, thoughts on these graduates?
I was lucky enough to recruit Tre'Davious out of Shreveport and everything else, and had a chance to meet his whole family, his grandmother and everything else, and they're wonderful people. And to watch him grow and do the things he's done is special to me. This guy right here, in my opinion, I think he's the best in the country, and I know that. But he's a special person. I know his mom and dad. I see his mom every time we walk off the field and give her a hug. And he's the leader of our offense. And there's things that when you can do at the center position, some of the things we ask him to do, which allows us to double team other people and get moving and everything else, makes him a special player. But he's a great person.
Thanks, coaches. Over here on the left.
Steve, a couple questions for you. One, did you really sleep in your office this year on your couch? Or?
I do it every year. During 2 days, I always stay at my office. But there was nights, that there was games where I didn't think we had completed a game plan, didn't have what I wanted in there, and stayed up there late. And yes, I'd sleep on the couch. That's hell, it's just part of it.
Second one is, how do you prepare in a week to call plays after not doing it for close to 10 years, right? When you
It's difficult. I'll be honest. The difficult part is it's not your system. If it's your system, back when I was coordinating everything else, you could just roll off your tongue just what you wanted to call it. It's just and the game plan, having put the game plan together, and you know what you want. And I literally have to look at the game plans when we first started and see how we called this play by the formation, by the adjustments and everything else. So now after these last 2.5 months, whatever, I feel very comfortable with it. But I had to do like the quarterbacks. On Thursday and Friday nights, I had to go home and I had to study just like they did, and how I was going to call this play and what plays I wanted in these situations. So hell, it was studying again, which I never liked college anyhow.
So just like the Cardinals, these guys have been really gracious with their time. We're going to wrap it up pretty soon. Couple of more questions, starting in the back on the far left.
It's Steve in the back left here, in the corner again. Chris Price, WBRZ. You said earlier that you think Coach O deserves the job. That's why you took on the role as coordinator for him. You know, when he was hired, it wasn't universally well received. Maybe some people thought LSU should have gone out for a bigger name, or head coach with more success on his record. What makes him suited to do the job? Do you believe that he's the right man for the job?
I know he's the right man for the job. You know what? I saw him talk to the team. I saw him in meetings every day trying to get this team together, bring this team together, and what they did. I saw him take our practice schedule and change it, and it changed for the better. I see how he treats the players, and these players play for him. It didn't take me long, and I've known Coach O since the 70s. It didn't take me long to watch him lead this team, how he treated the players, how he treated the coaches, how we were going to practice, how we're going to overcome defeat, and how he responded to it. I knew he was the man for this job.
We're going to take a question on the right, on the left, then we're going to let these men go out and enjoy the day for kids. So right here, please.
This is for Tre'Davious, Ron Higgins, Noel.com, Times-Picayune. Tre'Davious, Coach O was called, Coach Aranda, a mad professor. What was it like every Monday getting a game plan from him?
It was easy, I can tell you that. But with the schedule Coach O, set up for us, we have a lot of meeting time, so it just make everything so much easier. It was a lot of meeting time, so we meet for like an hour and 30 minutes, so we were able to, take everything that we've seen in film and take it onto the field and not make as many mistakes. So, with the game plan Coach Aranda puts in, we have great players on the outside, and in the back end we have a great front seven. So with those guys putting pressure on the quarterback and eating up the run, it makes our job in the back end so much more easier. So I can get a credit to the front seven, and then Coach Pete Jenkins, and then those guys for getting those guys ready each and every Saturday, man. So because it makes our job so much easier in the back end.
All right, you got the last question. Make it the best.
Oh, well, no pressure. Coach Ensminger, just your thoughts about Danny Etling. People wondering where he's going to fit next year. Do you start building for the future with a young quarterback? I mean, have you seen him improve? I mean, where do you see him fitting in?
Just like all the rest of them, we'll have a new coordinator come in, and he'll have to compete for a job. Nothing's given to you on this team, and it's. But I've seen him improve, and I think the thing that our staff did, I thought we did a great job of fitting our offense around him, what he can do, and not asking him to do things he can't do. But you know what? I think he's a very good quarterback. He's gotten better. I expect him to have a great game, and then I expect all the rest of them when it comes spring to compete for the job. And that'll be Coach Matt's decision.